This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. The link is in the video description below to get the latest gear off their website. Whether you play football or you don't, there is something there for everybody. Straight out of LA. Check it out. What's going on, people? Welcome to the Morning View / Matchday Reloaded, because we got a lot to talk about from yesterday's game and the fallout from yesterday's game. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome to the channel if you are new. And actually, I've started with a bit of a buzz and spring in my step because it's Monday. However, like it's a shit topic. Excuse my French this early in the morning, because you know,
there's monetization. There's monetization.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, maybe we have to go back and bleep that bit out, because you know what it is, when you separate the football, like just in life, and just try to, you know, it's Monday, let's go, but then it's like the topic we've actually got to talk about, you know what I mean, and the fallout from it. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate for Licha, and it's going to be a massive blow. It's obviously depending on more details and where we're at with this situation. So yeah, get involved, everyone, in the comments. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know how you're thinking about yesterday's game and any fallout from it. Say fallout, we won. People forget that, but
well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And obviously the Licha situation about another, you know, seems like another potential serious injury for him, man.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. I mean, actually, let's get straight into the quotes, because that's what we were waiting for really yesterday. And it's a strange one, isn't it, with these kind of injuries, because, you know, you assume with sort of really serious injuries that the stretcher comes out, they get stretchered off, head in the hands, and then you don't see him again for a while. And that wasn't really the case yesterday with Martinez. I mean, he had the Sufal fell on his knee, bent the wrong way, immediately was in discomfort. And one of those ones where immediately goes to the bench and goes, no, seriously, come over here. But did get up, walked around, came back on, and then very quickly was like, no, he's got to come off, which you have seen in the past with other players with other serious injuries. So here's what Erik ten Hag said after the game. He said, I can't tell the detail, but it seems bad. We have to wait for the detail and making the right diagnosis in the coming days. We'll see what is going on. In this moment, we're very sad about this, but hopefully it's not too bad. We can only pray. Now, when you're into prayer, it probably isn't going to be too great, is it? Certainly. But he continues by saying, we have to find out in the next days what is the diagnosis. It's very bad for him, very bad for the team. He's just returning, and it's a very important part for us. Last season, when he fell out, I felt our performances dropped a level, which even for Ten Hag, just saying that is pretty damning, isn't it? Going, yeah, you know, we didn't play very well towards the end of last season because Licha wasn't playing, basically. And that's essentially going to happen again. He continues by saying, we have to avoid that because we have a good squad and centre-backs who can fill in, but he definitely brings spirit to the team, apart from his footballing abilities, which I think is another key aspect he's talking about there, not just his actual technical performance, his actual just personality galvanizes the team, which we have seen, as we've said in the last couple of weeks, Flex, right? The fist bumps and the high fives are back as well.
Back. Yeah.
Finally, he said it's disappointing for the team and especially for Licha. It's so frustrating. He worked hard to return now for 2 games. It looks like he has to sit some games out injured again. But let's stay positive at this moment. Hopefully, it's not too bad, but we have to wait. Indeed, we have to wait and see if we get any more information on it. I suppose, I don't know if it's a positive, but, you know, like before when he injured his foot and then very quickly got sort of reports coming out of Argentina saying that this is the problem, you know, he's going to have surgery, this, that, and the other. There's really not been anything. Maybe that's just a case of because they haven't had time to do anything. Certainly today, you would think would be a day that that kind of information will come out. I wouldn't necessarily expect to get like an official Man United diagnosis until maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But I think those initial reports will probably come out today.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? I mean, the fact that he's carried on and got on with it for a little bit and then gone down, that doesn't really mean much. Like, I know you can say, oh, well, you know, the one where it's like straight off oxygen and a stretcher, then you know straight away. But him getting up and playing on for a couple of minutes and then saying I got to come off, doesn't mean it's not going to be a long-term injury. A lot of ACLs and things like that.
Yeah.
You can put some weight on it and stuff, but then when it starts getting inflamed, and when you actually look at the severity of what's happened, it could still be an 8-weeker, still be the 10 week,
or even longer,
or longer. Easily can be that. But during Timber, like I said, is the one that came to mind as straight away after the game, because I remember watching Arsenal's first game of the season, and he went down just before halftime. Went in at halftime, come back out, ran around a little bit, and then done what Leach did. Said, "Nah, I can't." And then he was out for the rest of the season, pretty much. Literally.
Yeah, and that was an interesting one, wasn't it? Because initially, when he went off during that game, I don't think there was concern like, "Oh, he's going to be out for the rest of the season." It was like, "No, oh, that's annoying. It's his debut. He'll be back probably in a few months' time or in a few weeks' time, something like." I think of Virgil van Dijk when he did it against Jordan Pickford. Pickford went through him, but he was like, going, "Oh, Jesus!" But like, what have you done? Like, as you say, sometimes they do walk around a bit afterwards. Which, look, it's sad as luck, isn't it? Because, one of our better performances of the season, I say performances, I know people have got a lot to pick the bones about it, but 3-0 at home to a top 6 rival, as West Ham were, going into the game yesterday, you're already looking forward because we know how important Martinez is as well. And not to put too much emphasis on one player individually, but he is so critical in terms of how we play. He is so important in terms of how we build out from the back. And I said it during the match view yesterday to KG that because we haven't genuinely watched him play for such properly a healthy Leacher for such a long period of time. Because let's face it, so who did he played against Newport, and he came on against Spurs, didn't he? Off the bench, I think he came on in that game because one of the centre backs went off injured, didn't they?
Yeah. And so they have kind of phased him back a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But yesterday's really the first time we saw sort of, I would say, sort of ready to go Leacher. Maybe he wasn't even super ready to go, but he's still on the way back. But you sort of go, okay, that's Lisandro Martinez. And I said to KG that because we haven't watched him play at his best for such a long time, I kind of had forgotten how he plays a little bit, which is not perfect. Like he'll go through the game and he won't be perfect throughout the game. He'll make errors. Sometimes he'll do, like in the first half, he give a free kick away on the edge of the box, just flying into a tackle. But that's what he does in terms of he is so front foot. He is so aggressive in a team that really lacks aggression. How often have we said, particularly when we've had negative results, those guys don't fight enough. They don't show enough aggression. They don't show enough grit. That is the epitome of who Lisandro Martinez is. He is aggression. He is grit. And
he doesn't know anything else.
No, exactly. He plays at 100 miles an hour. And if anything, that's the frustrating part about the injury and the way that he suffered it, because it's sort of the ball shepherding out and he goes towards the player and you go, I don't even know if he needed to do that, go towards the player like that. And then the player falls on his knee. And I've seen those people that have been, oh, here we go, injury prone, keep the same energy with like you do with Anthony Martial. It's totally, totally different. Okay. Totally different. I mean, the 2 injuries that he has suffered are, for lack of a better term, freak injuries. The first one against Sevilla last season and the Europa League at Old Trafford, his foot got caught in the ground, right? And he broke his foot. Yeah. And then, so they go, right, surgery, rest of the season. Okay, that surgery wasn't a good surgery. So he has to go. So he comes back and everyone goes, that surgery hasn't worked. Clearly it's not
But then that can happen where they say surgery went well, but then you do get a slight, when you start walking / running or playing again, the surgeons will probably say, look, you can get inflamed around the area. It can slightly move with what we've done. Then you might need sort of a rejig. You have to wait till you get back and start running. It's just pot luck.
Exactly. And then yesterday, it's not a case of like, he pulled his hamstring. It's not a case of, Erik ten Hag overplayed him. Someone fell on his leg and it bent the wrong way. There's nothing he can do about that.
Contact sport called football.
Yeah, there is nothing at all that he can do. So I think that's even maybe why everyone's even more gutted for him, because it's nothing on him. It's nothing. It's not his fault. There's nothing he could do about that, right? It's just really unfortunate. And the only hope is, as you mentioned, that maybe it's just a case of we go, well, actually, it wasn't as bad as we thought. It is only a few weeks or something like that.
Yeah, it's just really unlucky. This isn't the case, and I don't know if Well, no, most people aren't, because you can see it's just a freak accident. It's not a case of, oh, he's becoming injury prone. Oh, that's 2 serious injuries now. Or, you know, it's not like he was, you know, like you say, running by himself and his foot gave way to himself, you know, because it's a weak foot. It just got caught in the turf. That is just really unlucky. Metatarsal's gone. And this one, it's like you go in for a tackle and an opponent can fall on you in a dodgy way. You know what I mean? Could be an MCL, could be an ACL. So again, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. If anything, she was saying, bloody hell, he's unlucky. It's not a Martial. It's not his body's breaking down. It's not a we bought a dud. It's not a what on earth was he doing on the pitch, because you've just made the same injury happen. Like, he got taken off as a precaution, as Eric said, at Newport, not at Newport, at Wolves.
Yeah.
Right. And because he's got ice, like, guys, come on. Ice is like the most basic, like, if you've got a bit of swelling, just make sure they're getting ice baths pretty much after every game. Like, it just reduces swelling and makes sure that, you know, brings everything back down to you know, its normal size if there's a bit of swelling and stuff like that. It's not, oh my God, because he's injured, he shouldn't play the next game because he had ice on top of his foot. Like,
it might have been a plan to take Martinez later off in the game again yesterday.
And it wasn't early, and it was yeah, exactly. And in the game before, he came off at like, it was like the 85th minute against Wolves,
something like that.
He pretty much played 90 minutes. He pretty much played all the game whilst he's coming back. And if you think about how long it took him to get back into the team after he was on the grass, like, you can tell they've taken him. Remember, there were pictures of him bloody standing, leaning on the light post. At
months ago,
watching a bit that he couldn't do of the training, but he's half in the training. Can join in the rondo, but this bit, literally, you're not ready yet. Off you go.
Yeah,
like, the guy's done his rehab. Like, there's always going to be a risk when players come back, and I know we're going to touch on it probably in a sec. But like, obviously, yesterday, I've seen a lot of you guys' thoughts on it. I was doing the fan roundup, and it was very interesting to say the least. Owen, wasn't it?
It was very interesting to say the least. In fact, actually, let's get these super chats first, then we'll go to it. Here we go. A couple of super chats. Do you want to read them, or do you want me to do them?
Aminor says, Flex, you better cook AGT on DR today. Oh, I will. Onana over Allison. Onana would never. Just as I was talking about the long barrier, yeah? I'm telling you about fundamentals, guys, yeah? I told you with KG, your knee has to go onto the back of your opposite ankle, okay? Sideways on. Yeah, make sure that ball don't go through them legs. Yeah, the technique. Yeah, Onana would never. Onana, and if Onana did do what Allison just done last night, he would be absolutely shamed. Yeah.
Well, and there's one thing for sure. What Andre Onana knows to do, and I'm thinking in particular for the second goal, Andre Onana knows how to take people out when he's coming out of his box. Yeah. So he literally would never. For that second one, he'd go through everyone.
Yeah, he'd go through everyone. He came out and punched Marcus Rashford in the head yesterday.
Yeah,
but he got the ball away.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. He would never.
My keeper could never.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Van Dijk, best in the world, gets a little bump from little Fleabag flipping. What's his name? Martinelli. Enough to rock him off balance, so he couldn't control the situation. Vidic would never. Rio would never. John Terry would never. Tell me he's the best we've ever seen. Anyway, Owen, roll VT. I'm joking. And RR says, Martinez, I need you to learn English quick. This man is my captain. Easy. He does speak English. He does. He does. He doesn't speak. It's not like a Casemiro. Like, he speaks English. I've seen some of the interviews he's done in-house MUTV. They're passionate, and he speaks English. He could be the captain.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Indeed. So, yes, you were talking before we went to the super chats, and it kind of goes into the Martinez discussion. This is a long clip. This was from the fan roundup yesterday outside Old Trafford. A lot of people commented on it. And for those that didn't see it, we thought we'd play it this morning and just kind of get more involved, Flex.
And just before you do, Owen, please, I'm going to be honest and big up the guys if they're watching this as well. Wajid, Jordan, the other guy who come on, I've not met before. But he did say he cooked KG on his channel. So if you guys recognize him from KG's channel, apologize. Please let me know his name and big him up if he's watching, because it's all in. Do you know what I mean? We're fans. This is what it's about. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. I'm just trying to. This is what it's about. Opinion, discussion. But Wajid and Jordan, because they surprised me. I do know them, and I just didn't get the points that any of them were making. in terms of the rotation. And Wajid, big up to you, bro. I'm going to shout you. If you're watching, let me know. Clear up your comments. The community need to know, bro. You got to be accountable for what you say. Same for you as well, Jay. But let me know what your thoughts are on this, guys. Was I missing anything? Yeah, roll VT.
What do you think? What you think he shouldn't be playing?
So
or
in the warm-up, they were doing rundles, yeah. In the rundles, I don't know who clipped him. I think it was either Maguire or Rashford that clipped him, and he was holding his foot for like a couple of seconds. Then he was like testing it out to see. Me personally, I don't want to do conspiracy theories or look too deep into it. My thing is this: we're playing West Ham at home. They ain't got Paqueta in midfield, so we're obviously going to dominate the midfield. So that means you should be able to rotate your defence. I don't know why you can't play Lindelof or Maguire. If you can play,
we're trying to get some consistency and trying to build look how good he was against Wolves.
Yep.
Like, if his foot was a bit, but then in the game he was fine.
You're trying to say build some consistency, but that's disingenuous because to build some consistency, you should be starting Varane and Martinez because that's our first two centre-back pairing.
But it's different with Varane because he can't play 3 games in 7 days. That's the whole. But he's always injured.
You just said you want to get some. How can you guys chill in when you want to? Yeah. How can you gain consistency when you're not playing your first team? But then you now want to regeneralize it and be like, oh, you can't play 3 games in a row. So then you're not going to get no consistency.
So what do you guys think to that?
I think Martinez should have been the one rested today over Varane. Only because because Thursday when he came off, he had ice on his foot. He was literally sat on the bench, ice wrapped around his foot. I mean, I don't know if that's the injury.
This is his knee, bro. No, this is his knee's gone, bro.
It's all
right to me, man. I was passing between the lines, chopping it up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying from that, when I saw that on Thursday, I would have been the one to rest him today. But I do agree with what he's saying, that how can you build consistency? Because look at our defensive partnership from what we always talk about, Rio and Vidic. They played every game together. Do you know what I'm saying? If they didn't, it was Wes Brown and Johnny Evans or someone like that. We rested both. We didn't usually rest one. So if you're going to rest Mark Varane, rest on both.
What are you saying on that, Budget?
Maguire and Lindelof have played with each other for the best part of 2 years. I know we as a fan base do not like it. We as a fan base do not like it at all. Martinez has come off I think was after 60 minutes against Wolves, was it?
No, he come off for like the 80. He come off near the end. Like, I can't believe what's going on here.
Right.
I can't believe this.
If he's not come off and he's not iced, then fine, play him. Flex. He started the season. He wasn't fit. He's gone for 3 months. He's come back. He's got a knock again against Wolves. He's iced again. West Ham.
You lot are
moving mad.
How many times have we mishandled his injury? He had this issue.
This different injury.
No, but that's the point. It's the same.
Guys, what's happening here? What is happening here? This is insane.
Hey, Flex, let's get some order. Forget about the injury. My thing is this, and we've been saying it all season: rotation of the bloody arse team. We're not gonna have a game for a whole week. If we're playing West Ham,
that's why Varane's not playing.
If we're playing West Ham at home,
who we lost to last game.
We're going to obviously have control of the midfield because their best attacking player in Paqueta is not there to dictate any attacking play like that.
No, bro, Paqueta played on the left last time, bro, and we got buoyed off. It's the same. They played the same midfield they played against the buoyed us off the last time, bro.
They're losing one of their best attacking threats, yeah. So that means we're going to have more of a stability or foothold in midfield. That means you should be able to rotate at the back.
Bro, we've won 3-0. We've won. We're talking about injury. This is insane. Nah, hold on, guys. No. Wait there, one sec. We're saying we've just won a game. Let's get some order. Like you said, we just won a game 3-0, yeah. Where I admit the performance could have been a bit better, but 3-0, I admit that because at first half I weren't happy. They disagreed with me.
Bit better.
It wasn't good, but we won 3-0 and got a clean sheet. But what I'm saying is, what we're talking about is the fact that it's the manager's fault because he didn't rest Martinez and this, that. So what are we talking about? You're saying about consistency. That's the most consistent team we could put out, given that Varane can't play 3 games in 7 days.
He's on the bench. If you're on
he can't play. So he's got to come in for that.
If you're on the bench, you're fit enough to start.
Nah, not Varane,
and secondly,
bro.
wait. Let's move away from the Martinez thing for a second.
Yeah, let's actually. Come.
My thing is this, yeah. Again, it's gonna be unsaid. Rashford played 90 minutes and played shocking. I've watched this is my first home United game actually coming. So when I watch it on TV, sometimes you can't always stick on one player.
Yeah.
I've watched him for 90 minutes, and for 90 minutes, this guy is so buff. I'm not even gonna make no jokes about China White or nothing, but he's better off in there.
What are you saying? Wolves or today?
I'm talking about today. Yeah. If you wanna jump and do your defence thing, because I'll cook you just like I cook KG, yeah.
Can't cook me, bro, because Rashford was average today.
Oh, he was average. So he was average.
Yeah, who should have come on, Anthony instead of him?
No, not even personally Anthony.
So what should have changed then?
You could have rejigged it and started off Garnacho on the left, and you could have started up Diallo on the right. Why don't you give Diallo a chance? What has Ahmad got to do to get a chance?
He doesn't rate him.
You've learned that Palestri. You could have given him a sniff as well. There's so many ways you can actually alter this team, but he chooses not to. And then you want to say build consistency. You want to build consistency with people that are not putting any consistency performances. Doesn't make no sense. How can you build consistency when the players that you're continuously playing are not consistent? That make no sense. Doesn't make any.
So So Ten Hag played the wrong team today, and that's because he's saying that Rashford shouldn't have stayed on the pitch, and Martinez and Varane should have played instead, is what we're saying.
Don't be disingenuous. Flex.
Is that what we're saying?
I never said none of those
so
things.
what are you saying then? You're saying the manager's not being consistent.
To be clear for the viewers, I'm going back and addressing your point. You said to be consistent, and I said if you're going to be consistent, you play Varane and Martinez because he said that's his best centre-back pairing.
So why do you think he didn't play Varane?
I don't know because I'm not a mind reader. Same reason when
Nothing to do with injuries.
Same reason when he said, "Oh, Varane can't play left-sided centre-back," and then he goes and puts him left-sided centre-back. I don't know what's going through his head. I'm just going by what you have said. You've also said that if you do something wrong, you get punished. Someone does something wrong, don't necessarily really get punished. So the inconsistency is with the manager as well. I'm not saying
that's a bigger bigger thing with inconsistency. We're talking about why Varane has not started that game, and I'm saying Varane hasn't started that game. Hello, Kathy. Okay, don't mind us. We're just having a little rant. Kathy, the legend's walking past. We're shouting our heads off. We've got to have respect for the legendary Kathy over there. Let's whisper. No, I'm saying, bro, that where we're talking about we can't talk about the consistency about why Varane didn't play. I'm saying Varane didn't play today because Varane's got dodgy knees, and if we play him 3 games, which is the point, which is why we can't give him a new contract, which is why we can't justify giving him 350 bag a week, because we can't, because he's fit enough to be on the bench and come on and do what he just did, which is if there's an injury, come and fill in for 10 minutes. That's why.
What is the greatest manager said even last season for us, for Alex Ferguson? Did he not say, if your best players are fit, you play them? Why is he not playing him?
So if Varane would have got injured, what would you have said?
No. And my argument is this: if Varane was fit, the instance where Martinez got injured, that wouldn't have happened in the first place because we would have been so high.
Nah, you can't say that. You can't say that. I'm walking off. Wait. You're saying that if Varane was on the pitch, Kufal wouldn't have fell on his knee, bro.
Don't do
That's mad.
Don't do revisionism.
You're doing revisionism by saying if Varane would have played, Martinez would have got injured.
You're trying
That's insane.
Your basis for your point, because I'll talk calmly, is this: you're saying, how do I know that would have happened? How do you know that would have happened? That's my
because Varane's got a track record of can't play more than 2 games in a week. He's got a track record. It tells us he's got bad knees. He's been injured the whole career. That's why.
You just said build consistency, though.
But how can you be, bro?
Now we're in.
All right, go on.
Now we're in whataboutisms. You can't just say if this happened, this happened, this happened. But there's like multiple realities. Like it's a Marvel comic. Let's not.
It's all about opinion, mate. It's all about opinion. Just what this is.
Can I just say, because obviously I wasn't there, so I only I watched that yesterday. I've watched it again now. I'm not sure the strongest argument of saying Ten Hag's looking for consistency. Why did he change the centre back? That was the only change he made. I mean, you know, there was one change. The other 10 players were the same players that played on Thursday at Wolves, if I'm correct.
Yeah. It shows you that he's changing the guy who needs changing because of
we knew.
we know
we
that.
Did the preview for,
we tried to work it out.
To the Newport game. I think it was a Newport preview, and we in real time went, oh, there's 3 games in 7 days, and we went, well, there's no way Varane's playing all of them then. Like, that's not going to happen.
That's the logical thing to do, because you know he can't.
Which one is it? Yeah. So we
honestly thought he wouldn't play against Newport, but with actually how serious Eric Ten Hag's taking everything, you know, he played him. He played him and then played him against Wolves. So we were like, bloody hell. So he really did. He is trying to build up the consistency, but then he also knows I can't afford to lose Raphael Varane for any long period of time again. So let's make him not play this game. And by the way, we won 3-0. And we're winning, like at the point where Leach got injured. And why was Raphael Varane on the bench? Because he was fit enough to do exactly that. Maybe if somebody gets injured, you can play some of the game. But I tell you what, to manage you and your knees and your injuries, you're not going to play 90 minutes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. It's as simple as that. How do I know this? Because his whole career tells us.
Yeah.
Go on transfer market and look at his injury history.
Not even just his whole career. We saw it last season. Like, nothing's new in that regard. So that, to me, and me and KG were chatting about this on the match for yesterday. Like, if anything, I think it's a testament to Harry Maguire, to the fact that Maguire came in, and I don't think anyone was like, well, there probably were, because there are people that don't like him still. But there was like, I don't think there was, for myself, there wasn't a reaction that was like, oh God, Maguire's on the pitch. What are we going to do? It was like, oh, I think it'll be fine. It's going to be okay. Maguire's been okay this season. A couple of mistakes yesterday, could have gone really a different way. Aside from that, I think he did all right. So yeah, I don't really agree with that whole. If Ten Hag's looking for consistency, why does he change Varane? Which we know why he changes Varane. And in addition to that, the idea that well, if he hadn't played Leacher, then Leacher currently wouldn't be out with an injury. Well, if he didn't play Leacher against Sevilla last season, then he would have not had a foot injury as well.
My thing it just felt like, I think like the tall guy. Someone please put his name in the chat. I don't want to be rude and to keep calling him a tall guy. I didn't catch his name. But apparently he has been on KG's channel and cooked him. I have to ask KG his name. Does anyone know his name? But I don't know. I think, and I know Wajid's feelings towards Erik Ten Hag. I just feel like their overall feeling on Ten Hag was sort of coming into something that was nothing to do with the 90 minutes and definitely nothing to do with the result as we'd won. So I felt like they were just sort of, maybe the taller guy was still angry at the fact that Rashford didn't get reprimanded for as long because he went back to that a bit. And again, I was in that same camp. I've just moved on because got to move on. Do you know what I mean? Like I was, you saw me in the aftermath of that arguing with KG back and forth, and in the end, KG got to say, "Ha, I told you," because he scored against Wolves, and then he didn't play as well yesterday, but still did okay, but wasn't great. It's an average performance from Rashford, and I don't know. But then again, he was mixing in the Ahmad point of like, this manager's an idiot because what does Ahmad have to do to get some game time? And actually, just on that, from Fabrizio Romano in the last 20 minutes, it said Ahmad held positive conversations with Erik Ten Hag in January that were crucial to preparing his future involvement in Man United's squad. Both the club and Ten Hag want to trust him, and that's why a January Championship loan was never considered. Now, again, bringing the Ahmad thing into that argument we were having yesterday, like, I agree what's Ahmad got to do to get some game time. Like, they clearly don't trust him. Like, but you're hearing this here, which is very contradictory, because surely Ahmad would have come on against bloody Newport instead of, Palestri. Did Palestri come on in that game?
No,
did he?
Did Palestri come on? I can't remember. I can't recall.
But you'd think Ahmad would get some more time. But also, there's this thing that we do of creating like that. Ahmad's done loads of stuff for us, and he's definitely the answer. We did it with Palestri for a bit, and it's like when he did play, it's like, oh. But I like Ahmad, by the way. I do like.
Yeah,
Ahmad.
I think with the Ahmad stuff, it's interesting because I do agree with what you're saying there in the sense of, I think Ahmad's a slightly different case to Facundo Palestri, because realistically, wherever Palestri's gone on loan, is not done amazingly well, has he? Really, it's never really worked out. He's never had that loan spell. We're like, oh my god, he's doing amazing. Last season, that definitely happened with Ahmad in the sense of he went to Sunderland. He was it Championship Young Player of the Season. So there was something there certainly. And against like Newport, does he deserve an opportunity? Absolutely. I still do think, had he not got injured in the summer, I think he would have probably ended up going on a loan move, probably not to the Championship, maybe to the Premier League or something like that. But I do think we have to be cautious with this. Like, why is he not playing? He's got to be playing. He's got to be playing. Well, yesterday, for instance, and I would look at it now, the front three for us realistically, I think, is Højlund, Garnacho, and probably Rashford. I've been very critical of Marcus Rashford, and I'll still be critical of Marcus Rashford because there were still points yesterday where I'm like, Rashford, what are you doing? But that is our best front three at the moment. So are we suggesting that Ahmad should come in instead of one of them? Is that what we're really sort of suggesting?
Yeah.
Because I think,
well, as Marcus Rashford was playing rubbish, he's saying that's what should have happened. Yeah.
Well, and then in the case of Garnacho, you might say, and go back to the word consistency. Garnacho's natural position is on the left, but he's getting goals and assists off the right. So you would maybe suggest that you need to get for him as much game time as possible on the right hand side and gel together that front three. We're always talking about continuity and consistency in terms of the two wingers finding Højlund. The only way they're going to find him is if they're playing more consistently together, right? So I do think we have to be, sometimes we do this, and we have done it a few times where we're so intent on this guy's got to play, this guy's got to play, it's got to play. And then when we do see them, we go, well, because, and again, with Ahmad as well, this would be like my other point as well, is that it's one thing, and I know the response is going to be, but we haven't seen it, Owen, so how can you say that? And I totally get it. But it's one thing to be like, He had a fantastic season in the Championship at Sunderland last season. There's kind of no middle ground there, is it? Going from Championship Young Player of the Season with Sunderland to Manchester United Premier League. You have to do it right now on the right-hand side or whatever. For me, there should be. That's why in January, I would have rather he went out on loan, because I do think there needs to be that middle ground. I do think there needs to be, because I agree that he can't, at this stage in his career, after what happened last season, just to be sitting on the bench for the rest of the season, that's really unfortunate, because he probably thought, right, I'm just starting to really play now every week, men's football, I'm improving, I've got quality, nobody's doubting his quality.
Yeah, it would have been perfect for him.
It would have almost been like, well, if you're going to keep one, maybe you keep Palestri and you send Ahmad out, because it's more important for his development that he goes out on loan. And if you're going to have this player that you have on the bench and you know you're probably never going to play, probably that should be Palestri. Because let's face it as well, at the moment, with that front three being how it is, if they all stay fit and it's Rashford, Højlund and Garnacho, if Ten Hag makes a sub in a game and goes like for like, he's going to bring on Anthony.
Well, I think the problem, and I think the only thing I would have is, I don't mind that Ahmad's not starting, because, you know, like we said, Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund is our best front three. Or if we just look at the wide areas, you know, and Ahmad plays off the right. I've never seen him play off the left before. Could he play in the 10? Not in this team, not in this league. Like, not right now. You can't just put him in the 10 and say get involved in midfield and have to get back. Let's not do that. We've never seen him do it. Let's not gas him up. He plays on the right wing and he's handy. He's got good feet. You know, we know he's got ability. He had a fantastic season at Sunderland. But the problem for me, which I do agree with people's frustration, is that the second in command then is Anthony to come in. And then you're like, why would you not just bring Ahmad on? You know, but in defense to Ten Hag, I would say
why he's going to bring him
his
on.
track record, one is his guy. You know, he bought him in 80 million. You've got to try and get something out of him. Can't just discard it. Talk about keeping player values. You know what I mean? If you just leave Anthony there to rot and never play him again, which I know some people could say good, but let's be realistic. And secondly, Erik Ten Hag's track record of knowing when to bring in the young players has been good. Let's not, you know what I mean? Like, he brought in Kobbie Mainoo, and we look at what he's done with him. And I know you can say, but Kobbie Mainoo's he's a real proper special talent, but he still needs nurturing. And Garnacho, you know, the stuff that we kept him away from the team beginning of last season, then brought him in off the bench most of the time last year. You know, giving him more starts this year. He's starting to score more goals and have more impact, even though, of course, he's going to be inconsistent. And these are kids who have had to been fast-tracked as well, because we haven't been performing. Do you know what I mean? Kobbie Mainoo has to play almost every game now, because you look at the balance with Eriksen and with McTominay or Amrabat, and it's not good. We need Mainoo to play, because he's better than them already. Garnacho, Anthony's supposed to be wicked. Anthony's supposed to be amazing. He's £80 million. Marcus Rashford's the senior guy. He's supposed to be smashing it. So really, Garnacho should just be coming off the bench here or there again. But that's not the case. He has to start every game. And if he doesn't start, we're like, oh, Anthony's got to play now or whatever. So, you know, I think we got to cut. We got to cut Ten Hag a little bit of slack there, because, you know, clearly that wasn't the plan for Ahmad. They think he's not ready. They think he's not ready, isn't it?
Well, and also as well, and again, this is, I sound like the sort of revisionist stuff again, but I think had certain situations worked out, then I think Ahmad probably would be out on loan at the moment. And I don't just mean in terms of the injury. I mean, like, for instance, if Jadon Sancho, that situation doesn't happen, then Ahmad's further down the pecking order, then he probably does go out on loan. Certain situations have happened and circumstance dictates. I still think, like I said, Ahmad, for the best of his development, should have gone out on loan in January. And then, like I said, if you have to keep that player because they're just looking at numbers, a numbers situation where they're like, okay, how many wingers do we have? We got Rashford, we got Garnacho, we got Anthony. We probably need another. We probably need one more. Let's stick with Palestri, and then we'll address that come the end of the season or something like that. And then Ahmad should have got on loan, because again, I think if you want to look at staggered development, the next natural step for him after the season he had last season was, okay, can you do that in the Premier League? Because it is a jump to do that.
I really want him to have that. Yeah. Like, imagine he was playing on the right wing for Luton now, or
anyone, Everton.
Everton. I know it's relegation like battle vibes, but
that's the next step. That's the next step for him. And
playing week in, week out in the Prem, either sink or swim.
And he does need that. And this is also part of the thing too.
Or Forest.
This is the risk as well, is that you can jeopardize a player's development by missing out that step. By all right, now we're just gonna play him in these games, Man United. When like you say, you go, well, are you ready for that? Are you ready for that next level, that next step? And yeah, I think it's a mixture of circumstances, and I think a bit of bad management in terms of.
And not every journey goes the same. Not every journey, like Garnacho and Mainu didn't have to do that. They've gone straight from let's not get. We always want the fairy tale, but going from academy straight into first team is not easy, and it is a bit different because we bought Ahmad along with Pellistri in that crap window we had.
But I don't think Ahmad's as good as Kobe and Garnacho right now. Nowhere near.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. So, but I think it would be nice to probably see him get a couple of games. Then it would make people feel more comfortable going, okay, yeah, loan. Or it's because Anthony's basically we're basing it off because of Anthony's so bad, but it still doesn't mean that Ahmad's ready, if we get what I mean. Like Anthony is bad. And you know what? If I'm being honest, if you did chuck Ahmad on instead of Anthony, he wouldn't lose the ball as much, probably.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's what, like you said, I think that's the point of contention, isn't it? I don't think it's a point of contention about like Garnacho starting on the right over Ahmad, because it's like, well, Garnacho again is playing really well, scoring goals, all that kind of stuff. I think it's the point of
his position as well. He's doing right from the right.
Yeah, and I think it's that point of though when he makes the subs, people would rather see Ahmad come on instead of Anthony, which I get, because what's Anthony done this season in the Premier League? Literally nothing. In all competitions, it's 1 goal, 1 assist. That was against Newport in League 2. So I get that, I understand that, but this is when we have to get into the territory, I suppose, of being realistic, because that's what it's going to be for the rest of the season. Unfortunately, we're going to find ourselves being, and that means we should accept it, but that means we're going to be getting pissed off every single game, because I'm telling you now, if Erik ten Hag has a choice to bring on Anthony or Ahmad, we know who's going to get brought on.
It's Anthony that's the
game.
Thing that pisses people off.
That's the thing that annoys people. But that will happen every game.
Yeah. Like he's not going to be featured for the rest of the thing. Like when it gets to FA Cup against Newcastle or Bristol, he might give Anthony a start to freshen it up and try to get him going again.
If something happens to Garnacho again, Anthony's going into that team. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
When's
our next game? Is it FA Cup or was it just 1 week off and it's just Villa?
We got Villa on the weekend. Yeah, Villa.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think we're setting ourselves up for anger. For that, Erik ten Hag doesn't think Ahmad's ready. Reading that is conflicting with what Fabrizio said, because you're like, well, they want to trust him or they do trust him. Well, they're not. They're not trusting him.
Well, and if Ahmad's liking things, not being particularly happy.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be frustrated now.
Yeah, and I don't blame him for that. I'd be frustrated too after the season he had. Like towards the end of last season, when he was leaving Sunderland to go back to United, he must have been thinking, right, either I'm going to be featuring, not starting, but featuring this season, or I'm going to go back out on loan again. Probably not to the Championship. I think I've proven I'm too good for that league at this point. The next step is a top league, whether it's the Premier League, whether it's La Liga, Serie A, whatever. That's the next natural step for me. And I've got to play a season full of games. And let's face it, I know obviously, like I said, the injury in pre-season, I do think did change those plans, because I think he probably would have gone out on loan.
He would have gone out on loan.
But like I said, my biggest surprise was that he didn't go out in January. And I think that's really unfortunate, because I think he does need that.
Yeah. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get these super chats out. We are at over 1,200 people watching, and we're at 200 likes. Let's get to 500. Let's get to 500. We can easily do 500 with 1,200 people watching live, guys. We're at 203 likes right now. Let's raise the likes for Monday morning. Raise the likes. Right. We've got quite a few actually to get through. Ray Carl says people are nitpicking now. Just because Lissandro got injured, they want to put on Ten Hag. They want to put that on Ten Hag because they want the manager out. Ray also says people are exactly the same thing twice. I just realized. Thank you. We got that. Big up to you, Ray. Been a member for 7 months as well. Rory says, don't put Onana and Alisson in the same bracket. Really? One is crap. The other is a goalkeeper. Well, I don't know which one's which, mate. After what I saw yesterday, what I saw Alisson do. I saw Wykeeper keep a clean sheet, mate. And I saw Alisson doing absolute madness. So which one's crap and which one's the goalkeeper? I will say that.
Flex, that's the thing. Sarcasm can be lost. I think,
So you're saying.
You're being.
JCass on the button says, so he's basically saying consistency can only be built with one set 11. Then he says, start Ahmad over Rashford. All the best teams rotate. DJ, big up to DJ, says, I actually know Waj. Yeah, big up to Wajid. Exactly, I know him. Shocking take by the lads, but big up to them. Yeah, he's one of them. I don't know whether, if Wajid, if you're watching, bro, get in touch, get involved, and come be accountable for your craziness, bro. Descendant of the first crack here had been a member for 19 months as well, by the way. Crazy. I think that's the maximum, isn't it? 19 months.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any 20s floating about, so definitely 19, along with, I think, probably Stylord and a few others.
Yeah.
The whole type of people have been there since day one and still here now. Would you rather we win the FA Cup and get top 4 this year, or we don't qualify for Europe, but end up winning the league next year? Oh, if I could have the crystal ball and say, well, we're going to do nothing right now, but win the league next year as a guarantee, I'll take that over everything. I'll take finishing 14th now if it meant we were going to definitely win the league next year. Somehow, obviously, it's just a hypothetical thing. But any guarantee of winning the league next year, I'd take, unless it was something mad.
Well, hold that for when you get through the rest of the super chats. I've got a question.
Yes, and I want to talk about someone else as well. So yeah, we've got two agendas there. Nem Green says, Wagwan boys, good morning. Please shout out to Hausa Scouser. He's hurting. For once, we was able to field the best team and get a clean sheet, something to build on as well. So yeah, shout out to Hausa Scouser. How's the Scouser doing this morning, lad? Yeah, not great. SK Mazid says, great game management by the lads. The Dallo block was insane. Finally, our front three is cooking. Feel bad for Licha. We have started to play it better. Honestly, I swear to you, in the stadium, it felt like a goal. It felt like a goal. The cheer, honestly, you had to be in there to hear it. Or if you had, well, you guys wouldn't have had the volume up. I don't know when with you guys watching on TV, if you did have the volume up really loud. Hopefully, still watching the watch along. By the way, the match for you. Yeah. It was a massive. It was like a goal. Honestly, it was like, because there was this big gasp because everyone just thought, oh, Bowen's running off Maguire. For God's sake, you're going to score. This is going to be a goal. It's going to be 2-1 here. I think it would have been at the time. And the way he just comes sliding in with mass, and then he gets up fist pumps. Brilliant. Sent the first cracker said, would you rather City win the 4th or Liverpool the 20th? City the 4th.
City. They're going to get taken away anyway.
Yeah, exactly. 115 charges. And they can break all the records they want. No one cares. They're just not.
They won a treble last season, by the way. I forgot.
Really Liverpool winning the 20th. Liverpool are a big rival. I think Man City got to keep doing what they're doing for like another 15 years to be, above us or better than us or whatever you want to call it. Like, nah. Well, they're better than us now, but you get my gist. To be more relevant. In fact, I just don't think no matter what they win, no one likes the story of them. They're just not relevant.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Daniel Morrison said, was anyone else surprised that Amrabat was on the bench yesterday? Was he? I didn't even know he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was only on loan until Jan. No, it was a full season's loan. Yeah, end of the season. So I'm more surprised I didn't know he was back. And he had a stinker. And when they got
well, this is what I said to KG yesterday. When he was named on the bench, I went like, no disrespect to him. But not only did you not know that he was back, did people know he was gone in the first place?
Oh, no.
Not really. Not really. Everyone knows where that loan's going. You know what I mean? That option, don't think that's going to be triggered.
That's just fizzling out quickly, that one, isn't it? Fizzling out. Andy H says, the job of a manager is also to protect the youngsters. United can be the best/worst place in the same 90 minutes, and these youngsters have a long future. Also been a member for 19 months as well. And big up to you, man, for the love. We're at 254 likes, guys. Come on, don't forget. Let's go. Let's get these likes up to 500, please. I challenge you to do that before the end of the stream. Owen, you said hold that thought.
Yes, so there was the thing about talking about Europe and all that kind of stuff. Have you heard what KG said after the game?
No.
KG is saying after we won yesterday, he thinks we're going to get top 4. Is that possible, Flex? Or are you going to save that to after the Villa game at the weekend?
I got a couple of statements to make on him saying that. I've got a couple of statements off of his statement. So I'm not going to be the one to crush his dreams and say, you're deluded, we're never going to make top 4. That's impossible. Because it's not impossible. It is possible. It is possible. It was very important to win yesterday. Go 6 points behind Spurs. Get above West Ham. Get back above Brighton. Capitalise on Newcastle dropping points. Like, it was important. So, it's the beginning. It's the beginning blocks. Where are we in the table? Right. Okay. So there you go. So 6th, 38 points. Yeah. Okay. So
we're 6 points off Spurs. Is it 6 points off Spurs?
6 points off Spurs in 5th.
And is it eight off Villa? I think. Or is it?
And 8 off Villa, because they're
right.
2 points ahead of Spurs.
Yeah.
So this is where you start getting into the territory of the building blocks of mounting some form of top 4 challenge. And like we know, we can include 4th down, because Villa are in that. 46. They're on the same points as Man City, but Man City got 2 extra games. Like, let's leave the top 3 alone, right?
Yeah.
They're in a title race. Villa are not going to be in the title race. They're going to be in a top 4 race. So from 4th down to Brighton, Newcastle seem too far off it now, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. But let's just, for argument's sake, let's just say 4th down to 9th. Yeah. It's a mixed bag. And the reason why them teams are in that situation fighting for 4th is because they cannot put runs together and they can't be consistent. If Man United go and beat Villa, what are we 8 points behind them?
Yeah, we're 8 points. So we'd be 5 if we beat them.
Right. So then you're, of course, you're in the run.
And it's February. Because, it's the time.
You know what I mean? Even if we got a draw at Villa, because it's a tough place to go, But the statement is, if you want to be, snatching back, getting into top 4, you need to go Villa and win. And get on Spurs' tails, because we're 6 points behind them. So to answer your question, it is possible. It is possible. I wouldn't say from doing that yesterday, now I think we're going to get it. But we are there at the moment, being able to push if we just keep some consistency and string a run of results together away from performances. Just start getting more green ticks on that form guide. Like, if we do that, beating Villa will be massive.
That's the one, like I say, that's the one.
And Luton as well. Luton away is not easy, by the way.
No, it's not easy at all. I think
if we can get 2 wins in that, the confidence that will give us as well. Because we still ain't won against the top 6 away.
Well, that was the thing, yeah. 7. So yesterday, that result was only our 2nd win against a top 7 side or something this season, which just goes to show.
Home. That was a home game.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine away. What's the away one? The away one's still shit.
We're still waiting on that big away one. And no disrespect to Aston Villa, because this will blow up in my face if they beat us. But that's still not, if we beat them away, people will go, yeah, but that's not, City or Liverpool or Arsenal.
But I would push back on that, because they've got probably arguably the best home record up
they
until
do.
The other day
well, yeah,
in the league.
First time they lost there in a year or something like that, wasn't it?
And I know Arsenal, they beat Arsenal there.
But you know what it will be? The goalposts are constantly moved. Yeah. So even if we did, which I still am like, I don't know if
I'll be over the moon if we beat them. Bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is when, like you said, you go, I tell you what, I know it's 5 points, but that's a result. Maybe things are changing a little bit. But you get back to Leach and you go, not to put the hopes on one player, but that makes a difference. That makes an absolute difference. But looking at the table, look, we've got a lot of catch up to do. We not only do we need to be winning our games, which is not a given for us this season. We also do need things to go. We need to have weekends like we just had. Other teams got to drop points, and the thing is, they will. Teams will drop. Teams will drop points. It's just the case,
and so will we.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is the only issue is when that happens, can we do what we did yesterday? Can we take advantage of it? And like we just said, if we beat Villa and then beat, like Luton away, or we get that big. The thing is, again, I'm doing a disservice to Aston Villa. They're 4th place. You beat 4th place away from home in the Premier League when you haven't beat anyone away from home in the Premier League that of any substance for a while. Then then you start to go, well, maybe things are going all right. That's going to be a game for sure, isn't it? That's going to be very, very interesting. But I'm with you. I think that I'm not going to go too strong on like the KG side of things and be like, I tell you what, I feel like we're going to do it. Because people will point to the performance yesterday and say, well, it wasn't perfect. And, there's still a lot of room for error and there's still a lot of room to go. A lot of progress needs to be made. But I do think this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the season. I've been saying that for a few weeks now. I just think this is United. Some games, it's the Gattuso. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
Yeah.
shit. That's going to be, and it's just a case of how bad is everyone else around us going to be, and can we take advantage of it?
Yeah, well, Kenny said Villa lost to Newcastle at home, and you know, listen, again, I'm not saying we cannot beat them, you know, especially because we're getting a bit of confidence going into that game. Hopefully, we can. I really want us to win that game, man, because it's like, again, you can say, no disrespect to Villa, but they're not, you know, it's not the top one of the big ones. But well, in this where we are and their home record, it is, man. It is. It really, really is. And it'll be a big scalp to get, I think, considering where we're at and where we're trying to get to, and the fact that we just don't win these types of games. The last year's game against Villa was absolutely disgraceful. I remember being after that game. That was, what was it, 2-0? Or was it 3-1?
3-1, I think it was. Yeah, it was Emery's first game.
Or first
that's
home
when they
game,
had.
innit?
That's when they had the free kick where the wall was too far back.
Oh,
Do you
the wall
remember
was
that?
too far back.
And they were very clearly
man.
going, the wall's really far away.
Yeah.
What we did, I remember we were in the studio. and
Just
I
after the
remember-
national break as well.
I remember Cam was there, and even he was sitting on. He went, "That wall's a bit far back." Yeah. And then it came out after the fact that it wasn't far back, but we were rubbish that day. We were so.
And then
bad.
the season before that, I was at it, I'm sure, and it was when we were like 2-0 up and threw it away and drew 2-2. I think I want to say that
no
happened the year
recollection of the
before.
season prior. Who was the manager at that point? Was that Ranić?
I think.
Was it
I think it was
Solskjaer?
Ralph. I think it was Ralph. We went. Martinez made. Someone put in the chat.
Of course,
Martinez made a
course.
mistake from a Bruno
remember.
shot.
Yeah,
and then
I
we
remember.
scored again. I don't know if it was. I can't remember who
It was
scored that
2-2.
goal.
It was 2-2.
Yeah, and we were 2-0 up, cruising. Had chances for 3-0.
It was Coutinho scored, wasn't it? Coutinho. And that was,
goal.
and I think it was his debut.
Mistake.
I think it was his debut as well.
And then that was. I went. I ain't coming back here. There's so many grounds where, again, until we start winning some decent away games, I've gone, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nah, mate. Stop going to Liverpool. I ain't sitting in Anfield Road and just getting smoked every time. Some people say, listen, that's a bad fan flex. But listen, when you put in the amount of mileage and effort that I do to get to these games and make sure when you keep seeing how bad we've been away from home, so I was supposed to go to Wolves away. I thought, yeah.
I tell you what, it was interesting. Polls in the chat. Will Man United get top 4 this
No.
season? Flex.
Wow.
49 or 50-50 with yes and no.
50-50, mate. 50-50.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that
where would
shows
you vote? Where would you vote if you were voting in that?
Get top 4. Right now, I'd just about be in the. Oh, it just changed again. I'm just in the no. Just.
Yeah.
The Villa one could make me just go into it and say,
yeah,
because it is possible. I just think would be a bit short.
I still haven't seen enough. You know what I mean?
Yet.
I haven't seen enough yet. But
it is possible.
It absolutely is possible. And, you know, people are starting to play a bit better. Rasmus Højlund's got 4 goals in 4 games in the Prem plus 2 assists. Keeps up that kind of record. Look, goals make a big difference. Exactly. So, absolutely.
The last few minutes of the show, I wanted to talk about Diogo Dalot. A lot of people have been saying it, and I've, been thinking it, and we've been talking about it a bit. Like, is he going under the radar, or is he getting the flowers he deserves, or is it too early to start giving him flowers? Like, well, how are people feeling? Like, if I just say to you, Diogo Dalot, discuss the community, you, Owen, and me. If it's Diogo Dalot, discuss. What are we saying?
Well, I think, and I was just going to check my phone just to double check this, but I'm pretty sure I saw Culture Cams the other day tweet that Dalot was our player of the season so far. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
It's been an inconsistent season with not really many standouts, so I wouldn't avidly push back on that and say there's no way you could say that, because it's slim pickings. It's not Marcus Rashford. Rasmus Højlund is starting. If Rasmus Højlund keeps going from now to the end of the season like he is, he could probably take it in his debut season. It's Garnacho by the end of the season has done okay. It's not going to be Casemiro at the moment. It's not Bruno. It's not McTominay. It's not Kobe Mainu yet. He's just not done enough yet. It's not Eriksen. It's not Amrabat. It's not Luke Shaw. It's not Leacher because he's been out for ages. Bless him. It's definitely not Onana, debut season. It's not Varane. It's not Maguire. It's not Lindelof. Wan-Bissaka's been in and out, and it probably by default you're left with Dalot. So at this point, yeah.
I'm still trying to find it. I underestimated the amount that Coach Cam's tweets. He tweets a lot.
Him and Leah's are like, they're just, I don't know how they find time to do it.
I thought, for me, if you want to find a tweet from like 7 days ago, it's like 2 tweets down.
Yeah, it's just they're on it, mate. That's why they're rapidly growing.Ig up to the guys as well, man.
I wasn't anticipating that. I'm pretty sure he did say that. I'm still scrolling.
But Diogo Dalot's his guy though as well.
Yeah,
like,
so I think it's probably accurate.
Mr.
But yes,
Cole, actually, yeah.
Would he be player of the season? I agree with you in the sense of it's very much up for grabs, isn't it? I think if anyone now has a good, I mean, how long's after the season? 3 months ish. If anyone has a good 3 and a bit months, then they'll get it. It's not cut and dried, to say the least. If you're going to do it now, and I hate these conversations, like I remember people having conversations in like October about, I tell you what, James Maddison, he's the signing of the season. You go, well, it's October. I mean, let's wait. Let's wait until the end of the season. But I think if you do it now, Dalot would be up there.
I've just gone, is he that so far? Is Dalot player of the season, so far? Yeah.
Let's put it this way. If it wasn't him, who would it be?
Exactly. It can't, off default, it can't be anyone else. Like, obviously, people are saying Kobe is.
There you go.
But he's not yet. He's breakthrough of the season so far, you know.
But in a season, I suppose, where everyone's rubbish, you just give it to someone, then you go, it's a good story. I like that.
Yeah, but then you could give it to Garnacho as well.
Garnacho. I tell you what, Garnacho would be a pretty fair one as well. Because I know that his big thing is inconsistency, but you know, even in these terrible spells, he's been scoring goals. Obviously, the goal he scored against Everton, goal he scored away at like Galatasaray as well. Really unlucky not to score that goal against Arsenal, the one that was ruled out offside. So, you know what? I probably would edge it to Garnacho over Dalot.
Yeah.
If at the moment, I'd probably edge it to him.
Yeah, but back to Dalot, though, to be like what I wanted to say is that I meant it. I don't know if you saw when I said this. And let me know what you guys think. I love Wan-Bissaka. Like I said, I want him to stay because of the skill set, like just being able to have that when we need it. But I'm starting to think about him less. Do you see what I mean? Like I'm starting to see Dalot, like before the World Cup, that's where we was at, wasn't it? He was playing really well. We were really happy with him. And he's been really good. But now when I see him more, when I'm looking at him, I'm just more assured. Like, I don't feel like he's going to make a bad decision. I don't feel like he's going to have a lapse of concentration and let somebody in behind him. I think he's looking more powerful, more physical. He's good on the ball. His defending's got better. So, yeah, I love Wan-Bissaka, but I think we can see what's happening here. The long-term plan is starting to come to fruition with what Erik ten Hag always wanted, which he showed us before the World Cup, to be fair, anyway. Yeah. Big up to Aaron Wan-Bissaka because he was ready for his opportunity when the World Cup came to an end and Dalot got injured against Morocco, I think it was, and took it and ran with it. But now Dalot's starting to improve a lot. Dalot needs to be more creative and progressive, says John James. Still things for him to improve on.
I'd still say still need. That would still be a position that I'd be recruiting for, being like,
well, it will be because they'll get rid of Wan-Bissaka, and then that right back, whoever that comes in, you know what I'm saying, needs to be good. Daniel says, Ahmad definitely needs some minutes this season. Not saying he should start, but at least first choice sub. Yeah, getting done dirty like Cody Rhodes.
Bro, I tell you what,
I don't know what's been going on there. So
the hashtag we want Cody. Oh, I tell you now.
No. Oh dear. Yeah. Oh dear. Cody Rhodes getting done dirty. WJ Barrett says Bruckfoot is just gum vibes. We love him, but nah. Don't say it like that, bro. Nah, he's my guy, man. Wamby's my guy, bro. But I hear what you're saying. Anyway, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. We've got the full view later on this evening. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to discuss in that, as there is as usual. And tactical view, I believe. Josh says. So, yeah. Big up to everyone watching. Smash a like on the video. And we'll see you again on another video soon. Peace.